Konnichiwa, I'm Keith Niwa, Rugby.
Tō morigata, watashi ona wai wara des. Hey, rugby, I'm Round Walker.
Honda Kawazuki. I'm Rino Wilkinson, rugby.
Those are the fools that you'll be listening to on this full-time rugby special.
Now, 3 games yesterday. Australia beating Fiji 39-21. Bit of a scare from Fiji, though. They looked the goods. In fact, they got out to a real early start. Australia came back. France, they had a real tough game against Argentina. They missed out on winning. The Argentinians missed out on winning by a penalty goal. So, but 2 great games there, eh? 39-21 to Australia there, Reno.
Yeah, real close, mate. Fijians, we talked about it on full time, and look, they had the upper hand on the old Wallabies, but just couldn't hang it together. That's not a bad result, though, going down to a much stronger team, and yeah, the Fijians really bringing their game. Good to see.
Watch out in that pool. Also, France-Argentina, real close game. So close for the Argentinians. Just unable to get through, eh? Great start, though, from the French.
Yeah, actually, to be expected. I think most rugby commentators and pundits like ourselves, it's gone according to script, all the matches so far, and the teams who were expected to win. But, even as close as they were, some exciting encounters. And, me personally, I hope the Japanese fan base over there is getting their money's worth. Look, Keithy, just a quick shout-out before we go on about rugby commentators. Big shout-out to our mate, Sky TV rugby broadcaster Benny O'Brien Leaf. He turns 100 today. No, he doesn't turn 100, but it's his birthday. Happy birthday there, Benny boy. And there's still some great matches to come, Keithy, so let's hope we don't have any technical issues in terms of the live streaming or the live coverage.
Some great matches to come indeed. Some absolutely great matches. And of course there was another great match that was on last night that we were able to watch. Some of us watched a little bit of it for free. Now what the heck is going on with Spark? Now I know that you purchased the app and the broadcast there, Reno. How did things go with Spark, bro?
Yeah, well, $90 is what it cost me, and it didn't go that well. Obviously, quite a bit of refreshing on the Spark sport.co.nz website, and it just kept going and going and going. You jump onto social media and you saw the uproar, and we've spoken about this over the last few weeks on shows, failing to deliver. So they dropped the second half and gave it to TVNZ Duke channel. I know you come across it, Keithy, and yeah, that's what happened. Unfortunately, I don't think they expected the influx of New Zealand supporters. Oh, you should have, because it's our main game.
Of course you should have.
You should have done your homework. It's not rocket science. We know this, and things didn't work to plan for them. So where to for the future, for the rest of the tournament, and the Spark for us here in our country? Oh, well, I don't know. Let's see what happens, mate. But yeah, disappointing.
Very disappointing. Well, you were talking about this. You've been talking about this for a little while, though, Ra? Spark need to get things right, and they didn't seem to get things right last night, eh?
Well, yeah, and I hate to be the bringer of, bad news by saying, I told them so, but, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out, sadly, Spark's track record of coverage is actually quite appalling.
Yeah.
In terms of the transmissions, there's been a lot of delays, a lot of dropouts, and just bad coverage in a lot of areas around the country. Hello? So, the uptake of Kiwis wanting to watch it from this service provider, it just left me absolutely dumbfounded. You might have wasted your money buying a lotto ticket or playing a game of poker. It's just, I think heads will roll after this in terms of, who gave them the rights, etc., etc. But, in the meantime, let's just sit back and enjoy the tournament. There's still a feast of rugby games to come, and as we, have alluded to, we've gotten our first one out of the way, the Men in Black, so, fingers crossed that we can carry on their path all the way to the final, Keithy.
So what is it with Spark? Do they just not have the technology to handle the influx that just was suddenly set upon them, or what was it there, bro?
Well,
Yeah, you
I
got
don't
it
know.
right
Like,
there, mate.
I've looked at the competition Vodafone's track record with a lot of events, and look, they're not perfect. They have a lot of issues, but apparently not as much as Spark. So it could well be, in terms of the size of the companies, there's more resources with Vodafone.
Right.
They're definitely global, whereas Spark's pretty much New Zealand based with a few affiliates. But it's like everything nowadays, Keith. It comes down to money, and the more of it you've got, the better quality and service you'll be able to provide to your customers. But look, as much as we are hard, and I'm one of the worst buggers to sort of, criticise in these areas, hopefully they can get it together for the rugby fan base. We want to watch that three-peat. We want to watch it, as well as we can, not with sort of higgledy-piggledy coverage coming in and dropping out. So hopefully they get their act together.
Yeah, it was rubbish, the dropouts. And how did you know that it had moved the broadcast onto Spark there, Reno? I mean, on TV?
You got the message on the Spark. If you bought Spark, it came across.
Mm-hmm.
And also social media blew up big time, especially if you like the Spark Sports page. They gave you everything. They gave you the Sky Option channel to switch to, and obviously most went to the Duke channel. So, and they described everything. They weren't expecting the up by of so much New Zealanders watching it, which I find hard to believe, mate.
Yes.
They should have realised this.
For sure.
And look, they're a massive product. They're a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar product, and just failed to deliver. And they're mostly going to accept that. They'll be having their hui today, I would guess, to try and sort it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be bon voyage to them, and it'll be TVNZ's pick up Duke or Sky. So they tried it, and it failed miserably.
So TVNZ sort of picked things up, and obviously Spark gave them all. It must be just the technology, which is pretty much what I said. They just haven't got the resources, as Ra said.
And that's it. Yeah, we don't have the big infrastructure here in our country to hold the influx of people getting the upload and downloads of all this type of stuff. We just ain't set up for it.
Right.
Most of the country doesn't have the full-on fibre. So, it's a lot of work. And I know government have jumped in here now, and they want our country to watch it. And government's full ranked and said, look, they own TVNZ. There's the platform.
Yeah. And which is exactly what our government should be doing, because that's what that's what our country is almost based on. I mean, I'm not saying it's based on rugby, but it is almost like a religion here, isn't it?
Oh, mate, so many people are looking forward to it. We've been at for the last 4 years, and you got to keep the punters, happy. You got to keep our people happy, and we love it.
Yep.
So we want to watch it, and we don't want this delayed rubbish and everything.
Yeah. Now,
it's now and then. We just got to do it.
Yeah. Did you watch that? Now before the rugby actually kind of came on, there was the story of rugby. Did you watch a bit of that?
Yeah, actually not all of it, Keith. I watched a bit of it, but it was quite interesting. I'm getting right into those documentaries. I always used to like those sort of things, but I just sort of faded away from them, But that one, it's always good to know and learn a bit more about our national game, and some stories we've never heard before. It's more than just a game, like a lot of things.
Yeah, without a doubt. Anyway, let's get on to the game. We because it was such a good game. New Zealand got off to one heck of a, quite a good start, even though South Africa sort of scored first. I know that you fell asleep, so you didn't get to watch the second half. And because I was watching TV1 and then I flipped it over to Duke for some reason, I actually got to watch only the second half. So, why don't you tell us about the first half then, Ra?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's strange, Keith. The biggest game, the game all Kiwis want to watch, and then I sort of dozed off. Given the time differences and everything, no excuses. I just, the first half was actually quite entertaining.
It was.
By all accounts. In fact, somebody said it might have been better than the second half, but you'll give us your rendition of that. A couple of good tries, and of course, good to see our local man, Georgie Bridge, first blood, and as another person said, of Gisborne 1, South Africa 0 sort of thing. So, it's always good promotion for us here in the small city. But, look, the men in black, they are looking quite sharp. This is just their first hit out. A few areas to tidy up on, but in general, compared to the opposition, the Springboks, who will probably be there in the semis, maybe even the finals, they played quite outstanding, and the score indicated it was a tight match. And but as we say, it's the first game, so they get a few more under their belt, and you could well see some bigger scores coming up in the future.
What was your take on the game there, Rino?
Yeah, battle of the giants, mate. The two big heads coming together, and we expected a massive game. The Springboks came out firing in their first 20. The physicality they brought right up front was never ever going to last full 80 minutes, and we saw that happen. They were right on our face, in our line, trying to upset us every way they could, and they actually achieved that. But the All Blacks actually counteracted it after getting together, having a bit of a cordial, then turned it around in 2 quick tries, back to back with the Gizzy boy and of course Barrett. And we thought, oh, this is looking pretty good. Sam Cane gone in the second half, obviously with the little concussion, but cleared. And look, we had some ammunition to bring on and shift it around, and a few little errors here and there, and the boys will only get better from it. That's game one, and if it does work out and plan the way it will be, looking at down the table now, it looks like if things work out, we could meet Scotland, where South Africa could meet Ireland. Yeah. So both teams needed that win last night.
True that. I tell you what, I really enjoyed, the second half. I mean, I did see some of the highlights of the first half, but it was interesting to see, first off, Sam Cane wasn't on the field. So obviously, after a couple of minutes, they had changed things around. Patrick Tuipuolutu was on the field for him, which pretty much stayed that way. Then they made some very quick changes, but it was just an interesting game, especially a bit of a comeback from South Africa, and I think really the New Zealanders were kind of lucky because is it Colby? My God, there were a couple of opportunities there, and one in particular where he could have scored a try if the pass had gone well. But I tell you what, they were still looking pretty dangerous there, South Africa. What do you reckon, Ra?
Yeah, and look, I have to say, Keith, our boys started a little bit slow. I mean, it got on the great with the haka. That was brilliant. Yes. But then as soon as kickoff happened, it was a bit of a staggered start. And I think, the first game for us in South Africa, both teams were trying to find their feet. But we started to get a bit of momentum. But I don't know. I expected them to sort of lift their game even more by the second half. Not that I got to see it, but when I heard the final result, I thought, oh, okay, it must have been a very, very arduous encounter. But then I sort of put things into perspective by reminding myself that South Africa.
Great respect also shown by the New Zealanders. New Zealand team, wasn't it, Rino? When they, of course, came along and did their bow in respect to the Japanese spectators, eh?
Yeah, that's amazing. That speaks volumes for our country and the love of our game. And when you do that, you go around to all the four corners of the stadium and you do it to all the people because it's all about the fans. Yeah. It was hardly accurate, that haka as well. Yes. Hearing the ola, 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 that was our droning, obviously. Yeah. When you take a look and you see a big sea of green in the crowd, you're holy hell, Africans everywhere. Yeah. Mind you, they're a lot closer to fly than our New Zealand supporters. It's just a few hours flight, so... Yeah, no wonder it was really drowned out. But yeah, you're right. Respect given there and respect on the field as well. You saw Artie at the end picking up some of the players. They were buggered, mate. Yes. But they were. At the end of it all, at the end of it all, the camaraderie and friendship still lives on. Yes. The result is what it is, but great sportsmanship.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I just want to remind people, you can go on to our full-time Facebook page to listen into our podcast. It's a full-time Facebook page. Go and check that out. We're also on Stitcher, Spreaker, Anchor.fm, Google Podcast, Castbox, YouTube, Tumblr, and if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can subscribe to Full Time on iTunes. And now you can also get us on Spotify. Now there's nothing left to say except I'm Keith Niwa, Rugby.
I'm Brown Walker, Rugby, sayonara.
And I'm Rino Wilkinson, Rugby, 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 out.
Those are the Fools on this Rugby World Cup full-time special.